In this lesson, we're going to be discussing opening and saving documents. Why don't we start with the welcome screen? If your welcome screen is not open, you can go under your help menu to welcome screen and it should open right up. One of the things I really like about the welcome screen is open a recent item. Any layouts that I've worked on recently should be listed here. And I can just click on them and open them right up. Really nice, because I didn't have to go under any menu to find my layout. It was right there in the open. Let me close this. Another thing I could do in the welcome screen is go to open, or I can go under my file menu to open. And all I need to do is locate the file that I want to use. And if you want to follow along, you can go to your sample files folder and open a file that is called 0302 opening and saving.INDD. INDD is an InDesign document, and there are several ways that I can open InDesign documents. The first is open normal, which just opens the document with the name that it had originally. I can make my changes and save it. Now, with a INDD layout, if I go to Open Original, it's really the same thing as Open Normal. Open Original really has to do with templates, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. If I go to Open Copy, what it's going to do, if I hit Open, it's going to open the layout, but as an untitled document, leaving the original layout unchanged. Let me close that and go back to open again, and this time I'm going to choose a template. What is a template? A template is an InDesign document that you could save that has all of the basic design elements of a particular project that you work on again and again. Like, for instance, a newsletter. If I wanted to start my next issue, I could go to a template that I saved and just open it up. Why don't we do that? Go to file 0302 opening and saving.INDT and go to open normal and just click open. And what that's going to do is open the template. And I would have a head start on my design in that the template had a lot of my common design elements that I use in every single issue. And then I would just have to bring in my new stories and my new photos and set up this particular issue and save it with a name. Okay, let me close this and go back to open and choose the same template, 0302 opening and saving.INDT, and I'm going to go to open original. The reason I would do this is I want to open the original template to make changes to the template. Maybe I'm changing the way the newsletter is going to look in future issues, and I want to open that template to change it. So I choose Open Original and Open, and it opens the template with that original name, 0302 opening and saving.INDT. And then I could make my changes and save my template. So when I go to my next issue and open the template, it's going to have that slightly different look. Let me close this. And why don't we open 0302 opening and saving.INDD. You can do that under the file menu, go to open, and 0302, and it's the first of those two files that has the INDD at the end. And let's talk about saving documents. I'm just going to make a minor change to this document. I'm just going to add a space before the headline, then I'm going to delete the space. So I've made a change. Once I've made a change, I can go under the file menu to save, and I can save the document. I can also do save as. If I do save as, I get a save as dialog window with the original name, but then I could change it to any other name that I want, and then just hit save. Let me just cancel out of this. There's another choice. If I go under my file menu, I can also do something called save a copy. What that is going to do is it's going to save the document with the same name, except it has the word copy after it. So it's really the same thing as save as. Let me just hit cancel. Let's talk about one other way that you can save a document. I'm going to go to File, Save As, and maybe I don't want to save it as an InDesign document, an INDD. I want to change the format to template. So that's how I would do that. You can see it has the same exact name, but it has .INDT, T for template, at the end. And I could just save it, and then I would have my template for future use. Let me just hit cancel. There is one other choice. How do I back save? Well, it's not really saving at all. It is actually exporting. Let me show you what I'm talking about. If I go to File, Export, I could choose as the format for my export InDesign Markup, an IDML file. In earlier versions, this used to be called InDesign Exchange file. But if I were to hit save, let me just hit cancel, however, and I opened CS4, InDesign CS4, I could open that IDML file in CS4. A word of caution, however. Anything that's a new feature, when you open the document in InDesign CS4, the layout program may not know what that new feature is all about, and it can do some really strange things. Even if you haven't used new features in InDesign CS5, if you backsave and open in CS4, strange things can happen anyway. Recently, I had one spread in a brochure where all of the text in the spread reran. And the end of the text, the last paragraph, there was no room for it, and it went right outside the frame, so it wasn't there. So because of the problems that you might have with backsaved files, I would recommend only backsaving when you absolutely positively have to, because you never really know whether there's going to be problems. We're going to be talking more about exporting out of InDesign in a future lesson.